Welcome to your magical moon message. This is the Peace Dealer. We are stepping into a very supernatural and powerful activation of the psionic force you knowingly or unknowingly generate in your mind. Cancer season has helped remind you that the mechanics of psychic power and ability aren't necessarily something that you just decide to use at will. Although several techniques and abilities that induce perhaps more cognizant function of your brain can be utilized at will, psionic force and psychic ability is as natural as breathing. You could almost say it is an auto nervous function of your body. The misconceptions and the idiomatic languaging and understanding of magic and science as a science fiction and fantasy mechanic are furthermore being dispelled in your disillusionment of your own personal experience of that. So now that we're completing this balsamic phase and we're going to step into the conjunction, this powerful infusion of potency, powerful, that's funny, this infusion of energy and once again psionic force that you are combining, let's say, especially through the conjunction, is not only set to activate a transformative cycle over the next 6 months, but also hyper awaken greater depth in layers of yourself that you may have never known have existed until now. So, like I said before, welcome to your magic moon message, because not only is this a new moon unlike ever before that we've ever experienced, but the direct axis with which you're going to be harnessing a brand new cycle of literal power instantly, like pressing a push start mechanism on a vehicle, is going to astound you relative to the progress you've made in such a considerable amount of time, or a considerably short amount of time. So, this is why I've aptly named this the fated activation of supernatural psychic power. Activating supernatural psychic power is not relatively uncommon. We've done it over 12 times relative to the past 3-4 years. What makes this activation of supernatural psychic power unique is its fated quality, in that this new moon is happening square the nodes opposite Pluto, and also within a proximity of trine to Saturn, which is karma. So, similar to any experience in life, the places where you're at, shout out to Tyson Etienne. I'm about to watch him play at the Summer League right here. I'm in UNLV, so that's going to be pretty cool. But, the places where you're at, what you're doing, all constitute a series of decisions that you have been making to relative to the behavior and routine that guides the direction of your karma and your actions, compile this movement through time and space, revealing so much more relative to your understanding of where you're meant to be and what you're meant to do. Nothing that has to really align with some specific philosophy or religion, but you want to make sure is aligned with integrity. That being said, now that a lot of testing has been done, this entrance into the rest of the summer is taking into account, at the very least relative to this year, 4 months of hardcore activation, especially considering how, 3 is a great number of activation. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, boom. The beginning of this integration, Cancer, Leo, and Virgo, put you in a very powerful position to gain such an awareness of depth not only relative to what and how you feel, but the function with which through feeling you not only harness metaphysical elements of the force of your own mind and brain, but you're actively in your channeling of extra dimensional energy grounded by your physical body, Uranus and Taurus. You're getting to direct through your feelings, sextile to Cancer Sun, and Cancer is a sign. Put yourself in a position to communicate with the universe in ways beyond what we've been taught. Because not everything follows a linear function relative to the systems we build in place to run more things efficiently. I'm sorry, my vocab is mad boring. I'm just really chatting at this point, or just freestyling. But other than that, I wanted to preface this. Like, the reason why I'm setting this up like this is this isn't just like the regular new moon Cancer cycle where we're starting a new cycle of feeling a new way about ourselves. This is really fucking deep because the North Node 29 degrees and Pluto 29 degrees is kicking in some historic once in a lifetime shit that we'll never see again. Mercury retrograde happened and the writer's strike happened, right? I mean, it didn't happen. I'm probably sure it wasn't the Mercury retrograde. I know this is the longest writer's strike that we've had in a while, I think. Maybe it's not the longest. I'm sorry. No, sorry. I'm referencing the last one that happened, which was 2 years. But yeah, Mercury retrograde happened, the writer's strike happened, and then Venus retrograde is happening. And, actors are on strike. I'm not trying to say that means anything, but I'm trying to reference that just to give you an idea of what that could mean in context relative to a Pluto shifting out of Capricorn and, people starting to see beyond the corporate control of its molding of narratives and ideas. How do you fit into that? What do you feel about that? The whole process and narrative of this being something you deal with in theory versus it now actually involving you is what we're shifting into. And I just want to kind of, with the square to the nodes opposite Pluto, let you understand that everything beyond this point is a much deeper propulsion into these world events and I'm not going to say crises, but issues that directly North Node Aries bring you into the fray so that you, by your own authenticity, can lead society as we come into a brand new revolution of the individual. Okay, so basically, Mars is in Virgo, Venus is getting ready to retrograde, Mercury is in Leo glowing the fuck up. We're gonna literally step into an epic ass glow up period over the next 30 days. So you want to make sure that the direction you move into with this new moon is sincere as fuck and extremely authentic, which with the South Node in Libra is not going to look polished at all. And you can sacrifice so much authenticity in some desperate attempt to look super polished and to look right because you care so much about your image. You want to really care more about how sincere you feel about what direction you're moving into. It is very imperative because you can get the quick victory of looking right, but it will bite you in the ass very quickly. Like, you wouldn't even have to wait too long for that. So just do that. Do yourself a solid of that because this direction you're moving into is aligning with the activation of, I swear to God, super psychic motherfucking powers. It's not even going to make sense to you the first 4 months because this activation needs to integrate through Libra season where we'll balance with the social contextualization of, oh my gosh, you experienced that motherfucking shit too? Oh my God, I thought it was just me. Wait, Jim, you also had some weird paranormal experience? Oh wow, okay, now you're building support groups. Boom, Capricorn season, you're moving forward as an organization, society, ready to spill in this fucking revolution. I just wanted to say fucking and bitch. I'm sorry if there are like people who are watching that. I like the curse a lot. It's just the effect. Like when I say the curse, just the way you say bitch and the emphasis of bitch, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mean any harm by it. And I'm sure some of you love it. Infinity Gang. This is the most important thing that you want to accept relative. I was got jumped by some crickets. That you want to accept relative to this activation. The extreme pressure opposite Pluto is bringing to a head the individuality of your being, similar to you facing an entire collective by yourself. Well, how would you feel like if it was you versus the literal world? And I'm not saying that to enable those who kind of feel like lonely like that, because it's not really that deep. I'm saying that because, in a sense, you are breaking through this collective pressure with your own individuality. And you owe it to yourself to not run from that challenge, so that anything that is out of integrity in the way you express will be corrected, and anything that needs to be corrected in the collective, you correct that with your authenticity. And it's going to involve supernatural activation of power. Now, the activation of power can be explained easily by the new moon cycle. Duh. But what makes it supernatural? Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to challenge me and my theory. The Neptune trine to this new moon in Cancer opposite Pluto, and the Uranus sextile in Taurus, right? So the sun with the new moon that's sextiling Uranus and trining Neptune and opposing Pluto, that is what makes it supernatural. The burden of proof of any scientist would lie on them to prove that those aspects do not signify in any case or way, supernatural expression of energy. Extra dimensional quality of energy, which adds to the supernatural nature of it, is Uranus and Taurus. Grounding at a very unconventional quality your body's ability to actually process at a physical level energy that you can't even see, susceptible. You can't perceive this shit with your eyes. That's what makes it, in a sense, extra dimensional. And then the nature of this is supernatural because of the trine to Neptune, Poseidon, the astral realm, right? You don't want to think that it's a planet, but the representative of the symbolic nature of the planet and the metaphysical nature of, through the imagination, how you're able to, true to the 9th house of Cancer, Pisces, see into unseen. This is why Cancer is a zodiac sign that is really good with mediumship. Because if you think about what a ghost is, if you think about spirits, these are represented by Pisces, because Pisces represents the metaphysical that you sense through your imagination. So if Cancer has Pisces as the 9th house, and the 9th house is the house of philosophy and vision and sight, you're now taking in the concept with the function of feeling. You're able to see into the unseen through one's imagination. So that being said, this new moon, through the metaphysical nature of how synchronicities weave your physical perception with spiritual understanding. Some people use synchronicities as a way to purport conspiracies and delusion, but of course the true form of a synchronicity is in a way that matches the objectivity as above, so below. So just because you see a synchronicity doesn't mean that it was spawned by one's delusion or creation, but just because you see a synchronicity doesn't mean that it was just a coincidence either. So this is where that opposition to Pluto in Capricorn is an extreme objective collective power and measure with which to test the integrity of, especially now with Saturn in Pisces, the supernatural metaphysical nature of what you're experiencing, of these metaphysical insights that you are sensing through your imagination and can now realistically ground through empirical evidence, hence pretty much speaking of the process of magic and psychic arts. Okay? Over the next 3 months, power that you're activating now, you're going to integrate and master through Virgo. So, congratulations. And how would you feel if you knew you were activating over the next 48 hours to 2 weeks new motherfucking superpowers? The first part of this end of Gemini Cancer season was to get everything out onto the plate and to organize and set up the power grid matrix system within your body and several different astral and etheric bodies. This new moon is now that you've put the gridding together, you press the button, you activate it, and through Leo season, we bring it on stage, charge it, perform it, express it. Are you ready? I hope so. Y'all stay blessed as always, because this is fated. So all of this is now tied up more into convoluted destiny. And that just means that if you're a main character, you're going to have more plot power than normal. And if you're a side character, be very careful of what main characters that you're dealing with, because many of them are going through really weird character arcs, and some of them want to turn heel. Leo, I'm looking at you. Y'all stay blessed as always. Shout out to Aries. I hope y'all enjoy that North Node. And until next time, may the force be with you. Peace. Oh, I didn't turn it off. Oh, May the force be with you.